This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
The Hits Back is sponsored by the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, Burger King, Fidelity Bank Bahamas, J.S. Johnson, the Water and Sewage Corporation, the Ministry of Health, the Cleveland Clinic, and the Pan American Health Organization.
She raised a son, she called him Brandon. You know him as Sosa, the man. And I dream in color, yeah. My parents taught me to dream. How you gonna ever see reality if you don't dream? Follow your dreams to know where you headed. When you make a wish, don't ever forget it. Don't ever sell your soul for something you won't die for. More money, more problems. Well, I want more. I want to see the world, make a better living. Maybe heal the world, make it better for our children. I can see the future better with my eyes closed. I want to be heard, that's the only reason I wrote expressions on paper, just to make paper. The world is my playing field, I don't see the hater. Address me as Sosa, the son of Keith Major. So I don't need a deal for me to ever sound major. I used to be a player till karma interfered. Dreams come true, you just gotta be prepared. It's not about the gear, not about the jewelry, not about the mansions, I'm not Chuck Woolery.
My brother, we can do anything we want now.
You see, I walked into war, came out fighting.
We are on. I want to welcome you to this terrific Thursday. It is Thursday, May 24th, and this is the Hit Back. And I am Keishel Davis, your host. I'm excited to be here. It's the Royal Arrival Day, I'm calling it. The Royals, I think, should have arrived by now. Listen, I am so out of the mix. It's sad. But I believe they should be arrived. They should have arrived by now. So if you are in that and you are following that and you are, perhaps waiting for them to pass you, keep me posted. Send me a message. I'll give you the text messages in a few. But it's an exciting time. For some people, of course, they have their views on that. But today is a very exciting show as usual. Exciting to me. Hopefully it'll be an exciting show for you. So as I always have said on the show, it's 4:00. If you are, waiting to get off within the next hour, stay tuned. Don't change the dial. Work through this hour. It's going to go by fast. If you are on the road, don't turn the dial. We're going to have I call it an inspiring show today. My goal is to inspire you today and really to inform you, but more so inspire you. Today's topic is making it real or make it real. And, where that came from is really the mindset around what is coming up for quarter two. Quarter one of 2022 is just about over, right? I think we have a little over a week left. And so you should be, or probably are, mapping out your goals, your dreams, whether it be your business, whether it be your life, whether it be your family, your career. You are mapping out these goals for quarter two. If you're anything like me or many persons who would consider themselves high achievers, you don't only map out your goals or think about your vision and dreams at the beginning of the year. For me, I do it every quarter. I do it as much as I can. And so I wanted this show to be about how do you set them? What are the struggles that people have? Because setting them is great, but actually completing them, achieving them, making that goal or dream or vision real is really what matters. And so today, that's what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to be sharing 12 steps, if we can get to them, 12 steps on making your goals and dreams real, just in time for second quarter success. I'll also be chatting with one of my favorite people. I don't know if she knows that. She's a dear friend, but also a colleague, and I call her now the celebrity jewelry artist and designer. And if you don't know her, she's someone you definitely need to get to know. Her name is Chevette Charlo Williamson. And I really wanted her to be the guest because she has such an inspiring story of resolve, of resilience, and that radical commitment to achieving her goals and dreams. And I want that to be, her story to be mixed in with some of the things that I plan to share, so that you can be inspired to achieve your goals. And so that's really what the show is about. Of course, if you tune in, there is a free gift, and I'll tell you why a little later, why I am giving a free gift this show. And so you want to stay tuned for that. But I want to take a minute to just introduce Chevy from not the long bio, because we're going to share her story, but more so who I like to describe her as. And Chevette Williamson is the most sought after. This is what I'm saying. This is my words now. Jewelry and apparel designer for standout women around the world. Her timeless neck piece, which I'm wearing today, and I typically wear, have been featured literally around the world and will continue to help women stand out as they step out. And so she is someone who's going to share again her story. Before we, go into that story, I do have some opening questions. And those questions, of course, are ways that you can contribute to the conversation. But of course, any direction you feel you want to go as it relates to this topic, don't hesitate to chime in. So the question really is today, what dreams do you have that you want to make real for the second quarter? And it can be your business, it can be the career, it can be the dreams and the vision for the country. Let's take this from a very micro level, from your life, your business, career, but also a macro level. Where do you want to see the country go in the next quarter? Let's keep it there. Of course, it can be beyond the quarter. And so really, let's talk about what we want to make real. There's so many things that are going wrong. There's so many areas that we can focus on that's not working. I want this show today to be a show that speaks to vision and where we actually want to see our country going, ourselves going, our businesses, our career going. So if that's good, if that works for you, or if you have a vision and dream that you need help making it real, this show is for you. So how do you pay attention? How do you participate, really? There are telephone lines, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. And the text line is 422-4796, 422-4796. I see some text messages coming in, but let's before I read that one, I want to take a minute to now focus on my guest. And I introduced you, Chevy, and we're going to go and share I call it your Make It Real story. But tell us, in your words, who you are. And one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on the show, because you had such an exciting moment, I would say, in your journey of your dreams and your goals, your vision, what you see for your life, that I was excited about. Those who, of course, know were excited. So I want you to just share who you are in your words, and then share what that moment was. And then we're going to take it all the way back.
Awesome. Why, thank you. And Keisha, I receive that name, the celebrity jewelry artist.
Of course you are.
I received
what you
that.
mean?
And my name is Chevette Charlo Williamson. I am a jewelry artist. I have been in the industry from 2009. I resigned. I was in banking for 20 odd years. I resigned in 2010 to follow my dreams. It has been an amazing journey. And I give God thanks for my family, my sister, my husband, my two beautiful children, and my granddaughter, who has really been there for me along this difficult journey, but successful.
So you already started the journey, at least a story of going back about, leaving your job and all of that goodness. So you've started there, and I was trying to get my stream on. Did you share the moment yet?
No, I didn't.
No, so what you being shy
I forgot. And the icebreaker for the dream and the goals that I've been waiting for the many years I've been in the industry. And like the Bible actually tells us that no prophet is accepted in his own home. And that's found in Luke 4:24. And so the Bible tells us that we got to go out before we can come in. And God sent his angel in the form of David Roll to recommend me to make a headpiece for Lisa Nichols. And it was an amazing experience. And I give God, it's only God, I give God thanks for that opportunity.
And I know for persons who are paying attention or who are listening, Lisa Nichols you may know the name, you may not know the name. And I should have, but I did not pull up any information on her. But it's safe to say that she's a global brand. Absolutely. She is a celebrity in her field. If you go to her, you Google her, go to her pages, I would say she has more than, if not 1 million, close to 1 million on all of her platforms. She's literally been seen around the world. And your ability to serve her, she got married recently here in the Bahamas, was a huge deal because, we talk about opportunities and we talk about, especially for entrepreneurs, but this show is not about entrepreneurs. I know that's my playground. I always kind of focus on business. Forgive me, y'all. That's just me. But it's not only for entrepreneurs. It's for anyone who have a vision and a dream and for their career. And so you went there. Someone say I get competition with the Royals. Now look, Royal people, listen. All right. So Chevy, let's go back now to where it started. So we talk about what just happened, and you now are the go-to person for persons like Lisa Nichols who have a global brand, and she's not the only one who you have served, who have well-known brands around the world. But let's take it back to when you decided to leave your good, stable, high-paying job, right? Because I think we are at a place where now the pandemic is passing. It's not gone. It's still here. It's passing. And I love this. We have royalty on the show today.
That's what I'm talking about.
That clap back is what I'm talking about. Thank you. But a lot of people are at perhaps where you were several years ago, where they do not like where they're working. They have a goal, they have a dream. The year is now going into Q2, and of course we know the year is going to continue to pass, and they know that it's time for them to go, but they are feeling afraid, stuck, etc. Right? Tell us about what made you take that leap. Because, you had a dream, you had a gift, but what made you take the leap to say, you know what, I am going to bet on myself, I'm going to bet on my dream, I'm going to bet on my goals, and, deal with what comes with it. Take us back there.
Sure. Well, in 2010, I was in offshore banking. And listen, my salary and my end of year bonus was really nice. It was pretty. Mm-hmm. And so when I approached my husband, letting him know that, what I had planned to do, he was so upset because, he said, Chevette, you're leaving shore for onshore. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And at the time, I was so focused and I believed in me. I believed in what I was capable of doing. I knew that I was not able to leave certain funds uncertain because I was used to making a certain amount.
That lifestyle.
And yes, and so I know that I had to make sure that whatever it was that I had planned to do, that it was already in motion and it was making money. And so before I made that move, my store had been open for about a year. And so I was trying to get it at that point where I needed to be financially. And a lot of times when customers went into the store, they were looking for me as the brand. They were looking for Chevy. And so 2010, I just decided, I said, hubby, I'm just going to do what I need to do. Mind you know how it is when you have your little argument. He was upset with me for a while, but I just had to prove to him that, excuse me, I was able to do it. And that's how, excuse me.
So 2010. So I left before you.
You left before
I
me.
made the jump before
Absolutely.
you. I didn't realize that.
Yes, you did.
Okay. All right. So you kind of created the momentum with your side hustle, right? You decided that you were ready to take the risk. Your husband, which ideally is the closest person to you, wasn't really on your side, but you decided to do it anyway, right? When we talk about, the 12 keys of making it real, and it's really a book, if I can get it out this year, it's supposed to be out, y'all. No, I plan to get it out this year.
You will get it out.
I will get it out this year. I need to make it real, right?
Absolutely.
One of the steps is clarity. So what did you envision for yourself all those years ago that made you go against, what your husband thought, what people thought, the challenges that you perhaps know were coming? What did you see for yourself? What was that clarity that you got?
I wanted freedom. I was tired of just working for the man, and I realized that I knew what I was capable of doing. And so in order to get that freedom, to be able to call the shots and go to work whenever I wanted to, I knew that I had to take that leap. And it wasn't easy because in order for me to find exactly what made me excited or just, I had to try a few things. And so I baked, I made clothing. And so through it all, I did a few things, but I didn't love the kitchen. I can bake, but that's not my calling, And so my thing is you have to try a few things in order to see what it is that really gets your fire moving.
What helped you fight the fear? Because I would imagine the fear was challenging, was strong. Was there anything that helped you fight the fear?
Keisha, I just kept praying. And I knew that I just had to make that leap. I prayed, and that's
knew
all.
you had to do it.
I took action.
Yeah.
And what I knew, I said to myself, because I had the letter of like a few weeks before I submitted it. And I prayed and I said, should I do this? My husband is so upset with me. Am I going to be able to make the kind of money that I'm making? And look, the season when I'm trying to leave is like, not the best time. And so I prayed. I prayed and I took action.
Yeah. Which speaks to faith.
Yeah.
Right? Fighting the fear with faith. And it's one of the things that I talk about, when you think about making it real. And so for those of you who are listening and, are resonating with this story, please text in, please call in 422-4796. You might be at a place where you have that resignation letter typed up. You've been having that. You probably have multiple versions of that, right? What is stopping you from pulling the trigger? Are you fearful? Are you allowing that fear to stop you?
And you have to make sure that you're not just leaving to plan to do something. It has to be in motion. You have to see the money. You have to make your mistakes while you're on someone's job. You cannot just make that move and then you make the mistakes and then you realize, oh boy, this isn't working out the way that I had planned. And so because I had those wheels in motion and money was coming in, I knew that also helped me to make that decision, because I knew that if I left, I would have been able to be at my store personally to push.
Right.
And so I was already making the money. So you cannot leave your job without knowing that there is monies coming in.
Yeah,
we got to make sure that
which speaks, and I think I see a call on the line, which speaks to not only believing in God, praying, but believing in yourself, faith in yourself, right? So again, this show is meant to be an inspirational show. I want you to chime in, and hopefully, the story and the things that I share resonate with you, and I want you to join in on the conversation. Is that a caller? Caller, are you there? Caller, are you there?
If you'd like.
Okay, no, we don't want to make a call. We want you to call us. All right, so let's take a break. So let's take a break, and we will continue this conversation right afterwards.
Her mother died at 15. She went on.
This traffic report is brought to you by Shield Insurance and Prudential Loss Adjusters.
In my first look at traffic this afternoon, boy, Tony's William Darling stands right out. Up there on Tony's William Darling going into the Samila Butler Highway roundabout, you've got a heavy traffic line, a long wait before you can get to the circle there. You'll be riding the brakes the whole way in. That roundabout also is having a heavy traffic flow coming in on the north side from through the Sports Center passing Millennium Gardens. And we're familiar with what happens on the west side of the roundabout with that consistent traffic flow that comes in from JFK through that same circle. There's also a heavy flow of traffic on West Bay Street on the ride home. Not enough for congestion, but certainly enough to slow you down. And as we look further into the inner city area, University Drive, Nassau Street, Poinciana Drive, Wolf Road, the Baintown area, Palmdale, all having their regular afternoon flow of busy traffic. Not enough for congestion, it's just enough to slow things down. It's especially busy on the east end of Wolf Road, especially from Marathon Road all the way into the Wolf, Village, Brennan, and Soldier Road intersection. That Village Road traffic and Brennan Road traffic really heavy passing through there at this hour. Then there is the center of town, where we can see stop-and-go traffic coming off Robinson Road on both Blue Hill Road South and East Street South going through the roundabouts ahead. And this early in the south, while it's a relatively easy ride to get off Carmichael Road into the Blue Hill Road intersection, Blue Hill Road is still pretty busy for this time of the afternoon. That's a brief look at what's really busy on the island at this hour. We're going to be with you for the next hour as we watch folks on the ride home to see whether you're going to have any other heavier flows going on. This Nassau Traffic Report service of JSJohnsonOnline.com, where you're able to sign up for the online Service Center app, and that'll allow you to view policy details, check outstanding balances, report a claim, and more. With your Rider Sky Look at Traffic, I'm PANN, back in an hour with an update.
Michael was in a horrible car accident. Prudential Loss Adjusters managed his claim and got him the settlement he deserved. Sierra's roof received hurricane damage. Thanks to Prudential, she and her kids are happy with their claim settlement. Tammy fractured her ankle in a slip and fall. Prudential saved her time, money, and peace of mind. Prudential Loss Adjusters are here for you whenever a tragedy strikes. Call 322-4026 now.
Don't wait for disaster to strike. This hurricane season, be ready. Protect your home with an affordable and comprehensive home insurance policy from Shield Insurance. You can't control what nature blows your way, but with Shield Insurance, you can rest easy as you ride out the storm. Protect your largest and most valuable investment. Don't take a chance. Put your home in our hands.
Shield Insurance agents and brokers in Nassau. Call 356-7202 or Freeport 352-5945.
Girl, you see how Cora eye look funny, all black up yesterday?
But she say she bumped into a wall when she's running after the churn them.
Yeah, but last Saturday you see her arm was all black and blue, right?
What you saying? You think something wrong between her and Jack?
I ain't sure, but you know Jack is a jealous man. I hear him and Cora last Friday. I hear him say he hear Cora have eyes for Junior.
Now you know that ain't true. Cora is a good woman. Does mind her business, take care of them churn, and go to church every Sunday. So what you think we should do?
I think we should report Jack, you know. Cora don't say nothing, but silence hides violence, and we don't want to line up in the cemetery.
Not me. I ain't getting in nobody business, then Jack come after me, and I land up next to Cora.
No, man, we could call a text Crime Stopper. And remember, we can even get some grocery money for our tip.
Remind me again, how does this work?
We can call them in Miami at 328-TIPS or 328-8477. Or when we in the island, call toll-free at 300-TIPS or 800-300-8477. And if you don't have no minutes, use the Crack Crime Bahamas app and we could text them and the messages get all mixed up before it leave your phone so nobody can know what you saying.
So what we waiting on then? Let's go earn some grocery money.
Around the world, Cleveland Clinic is recognized as a leader in healthcare. Our team of experts relentlessly pursues the best for our patients. From groundbreaking cancer research to state-of-the-art heart surgery, life-saving innovations happen here every day. When it's time to travel for your health, it's time to travel to Cleveland Clinic, your destination for care, for every care in the world. To learn more, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
We believe in relationship banking. We take pride in getting to know our clients. You have access to knowledgeable, approachable ambassadors and financial coaches so that we can recommend the best product for you. At Fidelity, we care about you. From your financial health to your physical health, we can relate to you because we're just like you. Come and start your relationship banking experience with us today. Visit us online at fidelitygroup.com. Visit any of our branches in Nassau or Grand Bahama, or phone 356-7764 in Nassau, or 352-6676 for Freeport.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Blatant desire for your love. You're a king in every sense of the word. You say things to me I've never ever heard. Truly fascinating. Is this an angel that I'm dating? Your lips against the nape of my neck is enough to make me drift away. In my dream, it was all in my dream. In my dream, it was all in my dream. I'm lying in a bed of roses. As soon as I open my eyes, it was all in my dream. Could I feel this way for the rest of my life? Is it to be in love in the peak of the night? Oh, it's so warm and close.
We are back, and we are back to the Hit Back. My name is Keishel Davis, and I am excited to be here today. And today's show, again, is really something different from what I've done, something different than what perhaps you would have been used to, but it's really meant to inspire you because I know you have a goal. I know you have a dream. You're going into quarter two, and some people at this point are still feeling, like it's not possible. And so that really what the focus of this show is about. We would love for you to chime in. And the question of the show is, do you have a dream? Do you have a goal? Are you working towards making that goal real? As we get into quarter two, what are those challenges? What are those struggles that you are perhaps considering? And that dream, it can be relating to your business, your career, your life, or if we expand it to the country, where do you see yourself? And so we have the fabulous Chevette Williamson here, and really I'm going to be fusing some of the points that I would usually do and teach on this topic into the show, and then fusing it into her story. And we have some text messages that came in. We have some questions on the live. But I see the blinking line, so I think there is a call. Are you there, caller?
Yes, I am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Alrighty, God bless you both, and I trust that all of you doing quite well.
We are. God is good.
Indeed. Now, this is my first time hearing your show.
All right. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I oftentimes listen to, I like to listen to motivational and encouraging topics like yours.
Thank you.
But allow me to put just a personal, national request out before. And that is, I really pray God and hope the day comes that radio stations start playing Bahamian music. It troubles my soul that as a Bahamian, we have so much lost us as a people. If it isn't reggae, it's soca. What happens to the calypso, not the calypso, to the Junkanoo and the Gombe? In any event, that song from your break just did something to me just now. So that's one of the reasons why I find it hard to listen to radio stations much anymore.
And is this JT?
Yes, it is.
JT, thank you so much for calling. And I resonate with that comment, JT. I love music, right? So I love all types of music. I don't discriminate, but I do appreciate that comment. And yes, on our shows, I do believe that we can play. So that's a big vision. That's a goal. And so we definitely want to make that one real, because what I've come to appreciate is there are so many people appreciate our music and we don't. So I love that comment. Any other comments that you wanted to make? Oh, I think he's gone. Okay, I think he's gone. So thank you, caller. Let me read the text and we'll get back to the conversation. Great show as usual. I want the country to be clean for one. So that's a vision. That's a big one. I agree with that. I want people to stop throwing KFC boxes out of the car window. There are collect bottles out there, car windows. People just nasty. Okay, that's a good thing to focus on as far as cleanliness. I with you on that. I want to be a billionaire so bad. I want to be a billionaire too, y'all. Yeah, that's on the list. But they're a great show. You will never be rich working for someone because you only could live up to the level and lifestyle of your salary. Preach, yes. Which is $250 a week. Some people will never be able to afford to get a mortgage or a house. And I love that comment, caller, texter. Thank you, because we are talking about goals and dreams. And there are people whose dream is to get a home, to be a homeowner. And, or to be wealthy, or to be in business, or to be not to, depend on that $250 salary. The question is, and that's what this show is about, what are we doing to make it real? What are we doing to go after it? And the onus is on us. Now, I see a caller again. Before, Chevy, I know I want to get back to the story, but caller, are you there?
Yes, JT calling back.
All right, JT.
Yes, I was not completed with my comment. I just wanted to get that little bit off my chest.
Okay. You wanted to vent.
Just on that little point briefly, but I would like to contribute definitely to you and your guest today. I like what I'm hearing, and I would like to make a few plugs here. But before I do, quickly, any of you ladies are familiar with the book called Chicken Soup for the Soul?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right. Some years ago, I'm a gentleman who's blind, so I listen to books and stuff.
I know your powerful story.
Right. And somebody bought me a book on tape, and the Live Your Dream and the Love Yourself volume, powerful. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because as I'm listening to your guest, she reminds me of some of those stories in those books. Which brings me to this request to you, my dear. What do you think about writing a book, a Bahamian Chicken Soup for the Soul?
Absolutely. I love chicken soup. Thank you, JT. I appreciate that.
Or Bahamian Kong salad for the soul would be more like it to keep it really Bahamian, right?
See that? And the interesting thing, JT, I'll throw back at you. You ready for this?
Go for it, sir.
What if you write that book and speak that book?
I would love to take on that challenge, but to tell you, if I was passionate about it, I would do it. But it's not my passion per se.
Okay.
But if somebody has that passion, I'd like to see them do it.
Yeah.
But what I'd like to quickly simply say is, I learned something from Warren Buffett, and I learned something from Robert Kiyosaki.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Warren Buffett is, as we know, one of the world's richest, wealthiest, most respected investors.
Mm-hmm.
He said something years ago in terms of his success in investing.
Mm-hmm.
When everybody is selling, he would buy.
Yep.
When everybody was buying,
You sell.
he would sell. Robert Kiyosaki, his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I learned this truth from him, and that is, poor people work for their money. Rich people have their money work for them.
Yeah, thank you so much, JT.
So,
They have powerful quotes.
Indeed. I wanted to say that to your guest and yourself, obviously you both of you ladies have the success attitude is what I call it.
Hmm.
Because if you can conceive it and you can believe that you can make it a reality, then it can and would become a reality.
Yeah, thank
So
you so much.
I would like to see more Bahamians, if they can't do it on their own, to form investment clubs, come together in groups so that they can together buy apartment units,
Yes.
or they can invest in the stock market, or they can buy real estate, or they can do any and all kinds of business ventures together
Yes.
to empower themselves, but for the most part work together as a team to strengthen, to develop and to strengthen the group, the forward, upward, onward attitude that our national motto speaks to, but most importantly, doing it all together.
Thank you so much.
So I just
JT.
wanted to call in and chime in with those few points. And and let me say to your guest, what's your last name again, ma'am?
Williamson.
Mrs. Williamson, God bless you. You're doing a great thing. You did take a leap of faith, leaving the banking industry and going into jewelry, but obviously you've made a success and you have the passion. And I would leave this quote from the Chicken Soup from the Soul. Passionate people embrace what they love, and they never give up.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
people who say that something cannot be done ought never to interrupt those
Who doing it.
are doing it.
Thank you,
God bless
JC.
both.
You listen. I knew the time was running up. I heard the music already, man. They ain't working with me today. But JT, you had such great points. We have to break now, or we could talk a little bit more, just a little bit more. He said just a little bit. Thank you. So, comments that came. He talked about passion. He talked about people. Those are some of the things that came up. But if you left your job, you went against what your husband said, you questioning, you were building that side hustle. I want to just you to share one more point, and then we're going to move to the break. And it's tied to this text message, and so you could jump from that. Great show, not that one. I will come back to that. Good afternoon, wonderful show, Miss Williams, wonderful woman, Williamson. I have a dream and I know my goals, but funding is the biggest issue. So you left your job, and I know we're coming up to a break, but you left your job. What was the process that you went through? It could be funding, it can be, and just share a snippet. They had in the commercial, they say on the show, we can share this and then we'll finish it right after the break. That's what we can do.
Yes. The process is to start where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
If it's $100, you start with that. And that's what I did, because again, when I first started, I wasn't sure that was exactly what I wanted to do. And so I just started. And so on my lunch break, when I was in banking, I called a few persons that I knew, and I said to them, hey, it's payday, I'm coming by to sell some jewelry. And, you don't have to start at where I started. I did not end up, when I left my job, I wasn't in a store. I started selling from my back trunk.
I remember that.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And then it grew, and then I have a duplex, and so I converted one side of my apartment where I taught jewelry making, because with the dream and the vision that I had, it wasn't going to work unless more people understood how to make jewelry. And so that is why I had to start teaching the art of jewelry making techniques. And I started from home. And then as it grew, that's when I branched off and I realized that, okay, I needed more space. In fact, my husband ran me he said, listen, these people are coming around the house too late. You need to cut this. And so you don't have to start big. You start where you at with a few dollars and you make that work and you build on that and you keep reinvesting.
Yeah. One of the things that, first of all, it's so interesting to go back to that point because I remember the back trunk days. I do. And, to this caller, this text message about funding, I always like to say, if you wait for the money to come, you will always be waiting. Absolutely. You really, and that may seem like just a saying. It may seem difficult for some people to grasp, but I've never allowed money to stop me. I've always stepped. And like you say, if it's $100, I can take that $100 and you swear that's $1,000 or $10,000. Because to me, if that's what I have, that's what I'm going to use to start.
And if you're on a job, it's easier for you to turn that over.
Yes.
If you're not working, you have to take that same monies that you're using for your business to live. And so that's where the difficulty comes in, where you're not able to separate the two. Yeah. And so while you're on the job, that's when you're supposed to hustle and you say, okay, part of my salary I'm going to take to build my dream. And that is the steps that I took.
Yeah. So you took the steps, and what were some of the challenges? So, you had faith, you had the clarity of going after the dream, you believed in yourself, and these are all of the principles that helps people make it real, right? Let's talk a little bit about process, the challenge, right? So tell us a little bit about some of the challenges that you were confronted with. Now that you've stepped out, you followed your dream. And I know there's a book on, but just help persons to see that, you are now considered a celebrity artist, but what were some of the challenges at the beginning?
After leaving offshore banking, I had big dreams, I had big goals, and I also had some monies that I had saved up. Yeah. And I had an event in 2011 called Beaters in Paradise, where I had the movers and the shakers in the jewelry making industry. And I had 2011, 2012, and then in 2013, I went bankrupt because the vision that I had, I guess it was before my time and I was too forward thinking because the persons who made the decisions locally, I thought I would have gotten the kind of support that I thought they should be giving me. I didn't get the support. And so my focus was to try and get international instructors because I went off to learn jewelry making. I saw the amount of people and the different type of people who was learning this technique, these techniques. And so I said, instead of me traveling there, why not bring them to the Bahamas? And had it three consecutive years. And then the second year I had one international person who came over and they paid for 7 classes. And then the fourth year, I had a few beading societies emailed me, and said that we've been watching you for 3 years. We don't see anything happen. We were planning to come to the Bahamas to make jewelry, but at that time, I had no money. I was bankrupt. And Keishel, I was a nervous wreck. For one whole year, I could not get it together. Wow. And I was in a depressed state.
Wow. So there's so much that you said there that I can unpack, and I'm managing and watching the time because I know the music soon reach again. But you talked about starting from your back trunk, selling from your back trunk. Fast forward, your first process, if you may, or first challenge was going bankrupt. And just how that affected you, and I could still see I could see it in your eyes. That still affects you.
It still does.
That still affects you. And so as we kind of wrap up this segment and go to the break, what was the lesson there? Now that you have kind of you've further along on the journey. You see now the vision being real now, and I know there's a longer journey, but what's the lesson that you took away from that now that you've kind of removed yourself from
The
that?
lesson I took away was take time to plan. I am someone that once something is in my head, I don't want anyone to tell me that can't happen. I'm jumping in, and I'm jumping in wholesale.
Right.
And so one major lesson was to make sure that I plan, I see, because it was a huge dream for me, and I invested a lot of monies. And so planning is definitely key. And that was one of the reasons why I realized that I had to be a part of your group, where it taught me how to write my goals, the vision board, instead of just jumping in and not knowing the direction.
Oh, this we're just getting started and warmed up. I see a comment, Lord, Keisha is a serious faith walker. I think she would walk on water if she had to in order to realize it. Go, listen, I will walk on water. I just need to hear a whisper in my ear to say walk on water. I'm going to try it now. If I sink, but I can try it, and so that's really how I've operated. I've traveled on planes with no money. I've spent my last to go towards to do something that's tied to my dreams. And so I appreciate this conversation, and I think it's a conversation that many people need to hear, that you don't need money. It's important, but you don't have to use it as a way to stop you. And I hear the music. I am going to encourage you to stay tuned. We're continuing this conversation. The topic is Make It Real. We're going to go to the break, and we will see you there after.
It's really fascinating. Is this an angel that I'm dating? Your lips against the nape of my neck is enough to make me drift away. In my dream, it was all in my dream. In my dream, it was all in my dream.
Burger King Nassau is taking spice to new heights with the new Baja Whopper and Baja Crispy Chicken sandwiches. Enjoy your choice of a flame-grilled Whopper or a crispy chicken filet topped with chipotle sauce, guacamole, jalapenos, cheese, lettuce, and tomato, all on a fresh potato bun. The new Baja sandwiches at Burger King Nassau pack plenty of flavor, and with an ice-cold Pepsi and fries or onion rings, it's the perfect way to fill your day. The Baja Whopper and Baja Crispy Chicken sandwich are only available at Burger King Nassau, where taste is king.
When I had got prostate cancer, my family didn't know if I was going to live. At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. That's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
Tuberculosis, or TB, is an airborne disease that mainly affects the lungs. When people infected with TB cough, sneeze, sing, or laugh, droplets with the bacteria that causes TB can be released into the air and may affect others. Some people are at higher risk of developing the disease if exposed to the TB bacteria. If you were in close contact with someone with active TB disease, recently traveled to a country where TB is common, have uncontrolled diabetes, have HIV/AIDS, are malnourished, live or work in a hospital, prison, or nursing home, or are a child under the age of 5 years old who was in contact with someone with active TB, you may be in the tuberculosis high-risk group. Contact your healthcare provider or the Ministry of Health's Tuberculosis Surveillance Unit immediately at 502-4728 or 502-4803. Tuberculosis is preventable and curable. The clock is ticking. Let's end TB.
This message has been brought to you by the Ministry of Health.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Dream for our Bahama land. Dream for our Bahama land.
And we are back. Welcome to the Hit Back with Keishel Davis. I'm your host and my guest, Chevette Williamson, and we are talking about making your goals real. This show is meant to be an inspirational one. There's a lot of things going on in the country. You know, someone said that we were competing with the Royals, but I love the clap back. We are Royals also in this this station. And so if you have a goal, if you have a dream for your business, for your career, for your family, for your community, for your life, for the country, this show is for you, and we'll be talking about, you know, the principles that I teach called the Make It Real method, which we've been talking about them several pieces already. We talked about clarity, we talked about faith, we talked about process, and we're going to continue that conversation. We talked about passion. JT said he didn't have the passion for it, which is one of the principles. You have to have passion for your goals and dreams. And then we talked a little bit about people. And so, you know, JT called in and he shared people as well. And then we touched a little bit also on provision, right? You know, not waiting for the money to come. And so all of these keywords, these principles are steps that you can take, or principles that you can follow to make your goals real. And the question that I have for you is, do you have a goal or dream? You know, where do you see yourself? What are the biggest struggles? What are the biggest challenges? Are you working to make your goals real, especially as we go into quarter two? Now, before I go any further, I'm going to give you the text lines, but I do want to read this announcement. The COVID-19 pandemic isn't over yet. The COVID-19 vaccines and boosters are now available at South Beach Clinic on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 to 12. On Wednesdays at the Flamingo Gardens Clinic, 1 to 5. Elizabeth Estates Clinic, 3 to 6 p.m. and the Fleming Street from 4 to 6 p.m. and the Marathon Mall, which I'll be going to tomorrow. Monday to Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6. Protect yourself and others by getting your COVID-19 vaccine today. Visit vax.gov.bs to register or simply walk into any one of those locations. We have some text. Oh, let me give you the text and the talk lines again. Text is 422-4796. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4219. Feel free to give your voice to this conversation. Chevy, we had a whole conversation on the break. Mm-hmm. And I was, you know, I wanted to make sure that we talk about it on air. So I want to tie back to, you know, you shared you went bankrupt and what that did for you and the lesson that you learned about planning. So that was a big lesson. You talked about, you know, coming into the community of people, and we're going to come back and talk about that. But what other story, because you shared your Tiki Hut moment off air, that I believe is so powerful, because again, we go after these goals and dreams, or we want to go after these goals and dreams, and then when either we think about the downfalls or the roadblocks or the pitfalls, or we experience them, we we give up, or we do whatever we need to do. Tell us about that moment, and then let's take it from there.
Yes, Keishel, life happens, and a lot of times when we experience our struggles, we give up.
Yep.
And I was determined that I wasn't going to give up. My husband had he had a stroke. He had to get 2 stents, and he afforded me a good life. And because of his medical issues, financially we wasn't there anymore. Mm-hmm. And I was self-employed, et cetera, et cetera. And we know what happens when you're self-employed. And so I realized that I had to go and make some money, some extra money. I had to do a side hustle. Mm-hmm. Store was still open part-time, but I had to take a detour. And that detour was at Tiki Hut. And I give God thanks for Byron for giving me the opportunity to serve. Now, he asked me, he said, Chevette, are you serious? You want to be a waitress? I said, man, I'm serious. And so I was definitely out of my league. My mother said she never even dreamt that I would have been a waitress.
Not you.
And so, you know, and what helped me to stay grounded was I had to wear my pearls, my 12 millimeter strand of freshwater pearls with my uniform, because I had to sweep, I had to mop, I had to walk across the street with a tray of ketchup and all of that. And so it was truly hard for me to do that. But I did it, and I did it for almost a year.
Before you go on, Chevy, I want, if you don't know Chevette, and she's pretty well known, you know, locally now. She's made her mark here. But if you don't know her, imagine this tall, mango-skinned woman, good-looking, well-dressed, man, like dressed. I mean, look, you see she walking, you think she in the magazine. Imagine her wearing, you know, what you say, uniform,
sweeping water, because you had to sweep the water out. You had to clean the tables. And where it was open, you had persons coming to the bar, and you could feel the stares saying, wow, look at Chevy. And people would message me to say, boy, could you believe Chevy is at Tiki sweeping and mopping? Because, you know, it's a small little island here, and news get back. And so just to share that, you know, we might be going down our path, but I never lost focus of the vision. And I was determined that that was only a season. And it was a good season, because I was able to learn how to be a good waitress. And I made some money every day to be able to pay my bills. And in 2019, I thanked Byron for giving me the opportunity, and I had a very successful fashion show. And then I branched off saying, okay, now I'm going international. I'm going to take my product to the world. And I paid for 3 pop-up events where I paid in advance, so I didn't get a chance to change my mind. And COVID happened.
Wow.
And so there again, I had to ask God, why? And I realized that I wasn't totally ready to go international. And COVID had me to a point whereas I was able to sit back with your group and learning in the boardroom that there were things that I had to do.
To get ready.
The website and everything to be ready.
Yeah.
And everything just, and fell into place from there.
Wow. I see a comment, hello from Knoxville, Tennessee. Hey, TKL and Tiana. That's my family, y'all. Loving this topic. Hey, TKL, say hi to Tiana for me. We have also a text message. Great show. I don't mean to stir the pot. You are stirring the pot, but I'll read it because I tend to rub people the wrong way, but it must be said. I wish we will be more responsible on having kids, not because a person could procreate. I don't know where it's going, but let me finish it. I think you have a little bit of a point there. That's why I think I wanted to read it. We have a person procreate, they should procreate, and then have a hard time saying the government don't want to help you, which makes no sense. And so I like that point, right? You know, kids, people can procreate. That's their right. But what I love about your text is, you know, whichever state that you're in, whether you have lots of kids or not, but we have to not rely on external factors, right? You know, there is that thinking that the government should be doing certain things for us. And they have a right to, and they have a responsibility to do certain things. But just like funding, you do not want to wait for the government to take care of your goals and dreams, because you will be waiting. I remember when I started one of my companies, Creative Wealth, that would have been 2008. That's when I left my good government job. I left my good government job. People thought I was crazy. That was after I left the bank when people thought I was crazy. But I left to go full-time into my own business. And it was based on teaching kids about money. And so people tend to remember me from back there. And so there were so many people who were saying, you know, go into the government schools and you know, teach this program. Kids need to learn financial literacy. And I completely agreed. But if I had waited to get into the schools, which I ended up getting into, if I had waited though, it would have been a different story and it would have taken a longer time. So I ended up just doing small workshops. We started with Camp Millionaire. It was 10 students. We started to get sponsors, and it grew from there. The point I'm trying to make is, do not wait for the government, for money, whatever you feel as if you're waiting for. 9 times out of 10, there's something that you can do to get started today. And that's really what it was.
I started on my own for
Yes.
Leaders in Paradise, in hopes that persons who were in the department, who was responsible for really encouraging persons in the craft industry, would have chimed in and helped a little bit.
And so that leads to the question, Shavette, did you regret that decision or that experience of Leaders in Paradise going bankrupt? Did you regret that looking back now, or do you now reframe that as that's just a part of the story?
As a part of the story, I have built so many powerful relationships internationally. But again, I feel as though I had to go through that journey to appreciate where I'm at today.
Correct.
And so if I didn't experience that, some of the things that I did after, I would not have been able to accomplish.
Yeah, and it just reminded me about my first year in business. That again was 2008. I didn't have a plan. I just had a goal and a dream and a vision. And like I said, I'm a risk taker, so I can just, as they say, jump off the cliff and build the wings. That's the type of person I am. And that was 2008, so we do the math, several years now. 15, 14? I don't do math in my head, y'all, sorry. But that first year, my car got repossessed once, twice, 3 times. I couldn't afford, nothing was coming in. The business wasn't making money. It was making money, but it wasn't enough to cover the business expenses, the personal expenses, etc. And so, my goal at that time was bigger than my car payment. I mean, I hate to say that. I really hate to say that. And we had earlier on the show, collection person was on. But my vision was bigger than that. And so the money that I got went into taking care of my daughter, taking care of putting back into the business. And just, I wanted to bring that up to make a point. We all have those stories of process, of the challenging times, but it's what we do in those times. It's how we reframe those times. For me, that was one of the best experiences. I mean, looking back on it, going through it was rough. But looking back, I could always refer to that moment or that year as such a pivotal year because it taught me to really focus on my vision and question whether I was serious about it, because it was easy to go back on a job. Absolutely. And so I love this this message that came in, Proverbs 24:10. If you falter in the time of trouble, how small is your strength? I love that, right? And I think when you think of going after your goals and dreams, the struggle, the trouble, the bankruptcy, the whatever it is for you, and feel free to send us a text message and share what you went through as you went after your dreams. 422-4796, call us 323-6232. That is the purpose of the challenge, to strengthen us.
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why I knew that I had to stay grounded and focus on my vision was because of the bigger goal that I had. I could have easily say that, okay, I'm going to start selling commercial jewelry, which is much easier to sell and which is cheaper, right? But I wanted to focus on my brand or my style jewelry using raw material because I understood the power in creating cottage industries. When I say cottage industries, meaning that we have to be able to build jobs or build opportunities for the many young kids who are coming out of school. Okay, and so if I continue making jewelry using poinciana seeds or coconut or conch shell, it creates jobs for others because I cannot do everything. I the time just don't allow me to be creative as well as cut coconut and do all of these other things. And so once we have jewelry designers focusing on creating using raw material, persons on the out island, they can stay on the out island and collect sea glass and driftwood. And we purchase, we create, we sell the jewelry, and so it continues that flow in terms of creating job opportunities.
All right, so I had a question that I wanted to touch on, but I see a caller came in. Caller, are you there? No, okay, no caller. So what I hear from you, Chevy, and there's so many parallels and so many, questions that's coming up as you talk. Your vision, your goal, while of course you were driven by your personal, desire to make your dreams real, it really was connected to a greater picture, a wider picture, impacting the community, impacting those who you feel you wanted to impact. What would you say to people who really don't have a goal or a dream that may be connected to a bigger picture? Is that, people say it's selfish, or what was that for you? How did that connection help you to keep moving forward? And should everyone have that big picture or that community tied to the vision?
Most times when you look at creating, sometimes when you read and they say, what is your goal? What kind of business did you want to have? And it says a business when you can serve others. Okay? And so for me, I loved making jewelry, but I got fulfillment knowing that I was able to empower others. And so for me, the story was greater than just me knowing that, okay, I created a lovely piece, but the value in terms of me creating and knowing that, hey, if I'm able to push this brand or this style jewelry, then I don't just get the fulfillment. I have others who know that they were able to take part in that dream and that vision.
And did that keep you going? What kept you going? So you went to Tiki Hut, you left, so you went through that phase. Oh, before I ask about what kept you going, what was the lesson there when you left that phase? You talked about the lesson about planning from the bankruptcy. For me, when you talk, I hear bankruptcy, I hear back trunk, bankruptcy, and then I hear beach waitress, right? So you know how I think. So what was the lesson in that season of your journey?
The lesson was knowing that there are hills and valleys, and every season is something for me to learn, right? And for me to be able to accomplish those couple months at Tiki Hut, it just showed me how much strength I had to be able to push through what it was that I was facing. And I knew that it was only going to be a season because every morning I prayed while I was in the shower and I said, God, show me, send your angels, show me the vision, show me what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. And just keep staying grounded to my faith and God and belief in myself, knowing that this was just a journey that I had to go through in order to get to the next level.
How did you deal with the people that were potentially talking about you, or that looked at you and say, wow, she gone from that good banking job to living a certain lifestyle to now becoming a waitress? How did you manage that, the stories that were coming up in your mind as relates to people? Because I know you heard it.
Oh, absolutely. Keisha, it bothered me. And if you're human, stuff like that will bother you. But I knew that myself. I knew the strength within me, knowing that if I was able to deal with that, I could handle anything. And so every day I would say to myself, you're successful. And I just kept repeating whenever I had to go to work at 7 o'clock in the morning and I was on the beach cleaning down the tables, I said, God, it's only for a season. And constantly talking to God was what took me through, knowing that it was only for a season and I was not going to give up on my vision and my dream. And my pearls, I had to wear my pearls. My freshwater pearls around my neck helped me to remember. And because I knew that it meant something, because I even had customers asking me, you know, please tell me a story, because the pearl that you have on your neck, the average waitress don't wear that.
Wow.
And so I give God thanks. It's only God, Keishel, because I prayed. I've never prayed so much. My faith grew stronger because I knew that my family was depending on me to be strong. And so because of that, I knew that I could not have failed.
That leads to, you know, one of the points in the steps in the process, and that's connection, right? Being connected to not only the dream, the vision, the goal, but being connected to the source of the vision and the dream. And so what reminders, what blessings, what messages? Because I truly believe that we always have that moment when, you know, God, our source, reminds us to keep going. Did you have any of those moments where someone said something, or a blessing that came, or a reminder that came that encouraged you during the time?
Yeah, you know how you have the people who are going to bring you the message, but in another voice they say, you know, stay strong, stay strong. You know, it's like a double-sided, you know. But my store was still open. My mother was at the store. Okay, and persons they got excited knowing that my store was closing. They thought that I was going
out of business.
Yes, and so I knew that wasn't an option for me. Failure was not going to be an option for me, and so I think that was another reason why I kept pushing, because I knew that was what my people wanted. My Bahamian people love to see you suffer.
Yeah,
and so that was one of the goals too that I had, to make sure that I continued to stay focused on what it is that I wanted to do, the dream and the goals.
Yeah. You said something that I think a lot of people can resonate with, and in some ways I said but then I caught myself, because it's not always the case. And you said Bahamian people like to see you suffer. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say all of them,
okay,
but you have
some. So let's clarify that. Because we and I think that's people, right? Some people, when they're not going after their goals and dreams, or they failed, they want company. The whole misery company.
Yeah.
I think that's where that came from, right? So I get that. But let's talk about the people who supported you. Who were some? I know I talk a list. Just playing. I'm feeding you what you're supposed to say. But, you know, so on a serious note, who are some of the people, communities, who supported you in any small way during the journey, that told you to keep going, or to encourage you to not give up, and now also celebrate with you, because that's also important as well. At the same time we have people who are looking to see us fail, there is a community of people who can celebrate us, right? So I see a text message that came in: failure might come, but we must learn from it and pivot. So let's talk about the people that you went on the journey, even up to, you know, the person who introduced you.
But I just want to share though, but most times as humans, we look at more of the negative than we look at persons supporting us. Okay, and so sometimes we give up because of that. But again, we don't. You know, we just have to stay focused and believe in ourselves, and know that we got to put the blinders on and keep moving. But I give God thanks for the young ladies who have been there with me, Stacy and Atenise. They've been the support that I've been had when I needed extra hands. Keishel, you have changed when it comes to the kind of jewelry that you like wearing, because when I first introduced you to jewelry, you just liked one little simple chain.
That's foreign back
And
then.
I really appreciate you wearing my brand of jewelry, my style, because I knew it was a challenge for you in the beginning. And there's so many other women who have supported me over the years. The ladies who, through it all and through the journey and through COVID, I have been able to start a Facebook group with a community of very strong, committed women who was interested and who are interested in learning jewelry making techniques. I also, my mother has been there for me. It's a young lady by the name of Gina Smith. She has really been, she's short in stature, but she always stick that pin in me and say, listen, Chevy, you keep going. I really appreciate her support. And there's so many more who my husband has been there, who has, when I ask him, listen, honey, we need to drill this shell and this and the next, he has been there. And so he makes jewelry, he did classes, and so I appreciate them. I appreciate my daughter, my sister. I tell them because of the classes that they took and the techniques that they've learned, they've been able to make me look good too. Because when I bring the vision and I said, this is what I see, they're able to bring it to life. And so there's so many others that I would. But I give God thanks for each and every one. If I did not mention your name, I love you.
Yeah. As you were talking, one of the questions that came to mind, I got my final B. I can tell you it in a minute. It really speaks to your conviction of your craft, your conviction to what you believe in. Because like you say, I was not that type of girl who wore, I was very simple. Now, the more outrageous, the better for me. But not only that, so you have a way of convincing the people who come into your world of just what your vision is. And that's a big part of vision as well, because sometimes we don't see, the people on the outside don't see the vision, right? They just see you moving and working. And then you were also able to convince, fast forward to your husband, you went from not supporting you and saying, you
right
stay
there,
on
right
that
by
job,
my
to
side.
taking classes
Absolutely.
and drilling. And so, again, it goes back to the journey of entrepreneurship, which is your vision, but any vision, because if you stick with it long enough,
yeah, because I had to tell my husband, I said, I believe that God put the vision in my soul, in my heart. I said, you can't see the vision because the vision, it was meant for me.
Yeah.
And so it's my job, my duty to try and convince you to understand that, listen, I need to go down this road.
Yeah. Now, I can ask you a question because what would you say to people, because you were fortunate, he came around.
Yeah, oh yeah.
What would you say to people who have, vision, goals, have a significant other who do not come around? What would you say to those people?
Listen, we as women have a way of bringing our men around, our husband around. And so, listen, find a way and pray about it, because we know their soft spot. We know what we need to do, but I truly believe that when God puts a vision in my heart or in your heart, not everybody is going to see it, but you have to try and find a way to convince them or help them to see that, listen, this is definitely the journey that I need to take for myself so that I can be complete. I can be whole. And when I'm complete and whole, I'm a better person for you and for me, And so it's all about trying to find.
What's next for you, right? So you started by selling jewelry out of your back trunk. You went bankrupt. You ended up being a beach waitress just to make ends meet. And now you are, you did a bridal jewelry on one of the, she's iconic around the world. Let's talk about the forward movement now. I see a message, loving this conversation. Thank you. We also have a text message about how you can be contacted. So I'll let you share your contact information at the end. But where do you see yourself now? Because, you have reached this moment where you'll be like, great. I'm starting to see the vision that I've seen for so long. What gets you excited now? What's your next moves?
What gets me excited now is knowing that during COVID, I had a chance to think about the future, think about what it is that I needed to do. And in starting my membership, where I have women who are learning techniques and learning the techniques in the way that I make my jewelry, the standard, okay? And now that, and it's amazing how God works, because after doing that, then I constantly pray for God to send his angels, okay? And one of the things I want to plug, I'm going to plug in this, that you have to always remind your children to have a good attitude, to be nice to people, because we don't know, and I'm not saying for the people to take advantage of you, but just to be courteous, because we never know who God is going to work through.
Yes.
Okay, God works through people. And God sent his angel in the form of David Roll. We had not connected. I wasn't in his circle. But God put it in his spirit to call on me to say, Chevette, I believe that you are the best person for this job.
Wow.
And I have never cried so much to see.
Make me cry now.
Listen, I have never cried so much to see how God moved. And to see the energy that Lisa Nichols has, so genuine. And to say to me, I want to give you a chance. She took a chance because she didn't know my history.
Right.
She didn't know my track record, but she was willing to say, hey, I want to give you the opportunity to bring my vision and my dream to life in the form of this headpiece. And so here it is now. The doors are open, and I have international people contacting me to make jewelry. Now, for me to go international, I'm not able to do this on my own.
Right.
Okay? One-man gang can't serve international growth. And so I say, God, you are amazing, because you had it where I was able to form the membership. And so because they know the standards and the techniques, and to know that whenever you create jewelry, how, the outcome and what you should be looking at when it comes to your standard, I'm now able to call on these women to help me to create, to make sure that I'm able to deal with this international door that's open. And so we have to work with each other.
Yeah.
We have to understand the importance of a community, because when the door open, when the floodgate open, and if you're not able to deal with the flood, the door will be shut.
Yeah. So we're talking with Chevette Williamson. You can find on social media. She will give you her contact at the end. But, this is such a rich conversation, even for me, who I believe I know quite a bit of your story. And, one of the things that you said about, expanding through other people and the membership, we did not talk about the pivot. Right? Because the pandemic came, you talked about, investing in these shows internationally. So you were ready, you were serving the local market. Pandemic came, everything shut down, including your business.
The store, yeah.
What business lessons or what pivots did you make to keep afloat during the pandemic, or to keep moving, and what lessons did you learn in that season?
I learned that time is changing, and we're not able to just have a brick and mortar.
Right.
I had to learn
online business.
And I created my website. I had to learn the importance of being able to get the money, to be paid, online.
Yep.
And so that was a journey for me, having to learn that. And thanks to your membership and what you were able to offer, and the challenges that, the goals that you had for the women that was a part of your community to help us to get where we are today. Because if you didn't give us some of that information that I needed to get my website up to the standard, I would not have been able to take advantage of this opportunity today. Because one of the questions, and she asked me, she said, this is a big question. Are you able to accept payments online?
Yeah.
She said, not just local payments, international payments. And, I was so grateful. And I said, thank you, God. I was able to say, absolutely. Absolutely. I did not have the opportunity to say no to anything, because everything fell in line.
Yeah.
Everything was ready. And so I am ready for the international market.
Increase, so the pandemic, although challenging, was almost like a blessing in
Absolutely.
disguise.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I don't know if we've shared enough of those stories, because it is challenging for many, but there are, stories like yours where the pandemic caused you to really move into the area that you wanted to move into and to be prepared. Text message from Charmaine said, wow, now through her membership program, she has a network to help realize the dream of international reach. All right, way to go, Chevy. And that's really what it is, which is having that patience to recognize that, boy, if it didn't work today, talk to us about patience. Like, are you patient? Because I'm patient. I've learned, thankfully. But, what would you say to someone who expected to happen yesterday if the thing was canceled and they, what would you say to people who are impatient on this, goal journey, whatever the goal is?
I started in 2010, 2009, 2008, because I started from home, and I resigned in 2010, and that's when I actually had the business up and running. And it's now 2022. And so I would say that I have had a lot of patience. It's because I was really focused on my dream. I'm passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about sharing what it is that I know with other women, men who are interested in this technique, in jewelry making. And anyone who have been in my store can say that this is the truth, that they can feel the excitement whenever I have to share. And so from I've started, I know that I have touched a lot of individuals with what it is that I do. And sometimes persons might not want to share that they, was inspired by me.
Right.
But it's all good.
That's a part of it.
It's all good. But I know for a fact that when I started and what the industry is today, I know that because of me, there has been growth.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's difficult for us to take, to come to grips and say that about ourselves. But now I'm at the point where I believe and I have so much more confidence in me as an individual and as a jewelry artist.
Celebrity jewelry artist Chevette Williamson. We have been talking about her vision, her dreams, and how her story hopefully inspires you to go after your vision and your dream for quarter two and for the rest of this year. And thank you, Tex. Chevy, that's a 13-year overnight success. So glad you was patient. I hear the music, so let's go to a break and we'll come back with our final segment afterwards.
Paradise, beauty is evident. This goes out to the Bahamian government, leaders of the country, members of parliament, each and every settlement.
Water and Sewage Corporation advises its customers in New Providence and the Family Islands that the corporation will commence mass disconnections beginning Monday, March 28, 2022, on all outstanding accounts and financial agreements. Customers who have not honored their financial agreements are advised to visit their local offices to update those agreements as soon as possible. And all customers are further advised to bring their accounts up to date to avoid the disconnection of their water and sewage services without further notice.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
J.S. Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
When I had got prostate cancer, my family didn't know if I was going to live. At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. It's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
The Water and Sewage Corporation advises the public, its customers, and the residents of Melbourne Road, Yellow Elder Gardens that the corporation will commence improvement work on March 16, 2022, for a duration of 6 weeks. During this period, there may be interruptions in the water supply, road closure, and detour around the work areas. Motorists are asked to avoid the area between the hours of 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. The corporation apologizes for any inconvenience caused and appreciates your support as they work to improve their level of service.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Everybody must work.
Word. I like that song. I like, oh Lord. JT, I'm sorry. I really hope, Ian is the producer. He should have thrown a Bahamian song in there. But, I feel you. All right, so I'm getting threatened on the break. So let me ask this now. The final segment of the show. Welcome back. We're talking to Chevette Williamson. She's a celebrity now, jewelry artist. And we just was sharing a story. So I was, before the break, the text message says, how can your guest be contacted? I decided to wait until after the break because I think this is, that's the direction I wanted to go. She texts, he or she, forgive me, call, I don't know, say, why didn't you let them give the contact? So I get threatened. So Chevy, before we go any further, she is waiting with her pen in hand, y'all. So
Okay,
Chevy,
great. Okay, you can find me on Facebook, Chevette Williamson Jewelry.
Spell
Chevette
that.
is CHEVTTE Williamson Jewelry. On Instagram, it's Chevette Williamson. And my phone contact is 814-6959.
Awesome. Thank you. And we have another text that came in. Where did it go? Awesome show. I reached out to Chevette about 2 years ago, but was broke and could not afford the classes. I will now be reaching out to her again. Very inspiring.
Awesome.
What do you say to that? What do you say to
Timing is
that?
everything.
Timing, yeah.
Timing.
Yeah.
Sometimes we experience things and we're going, life just happens. And we just have to understand that the right time is the right time. There's a season for everything.
Yeah.
And so now is the right time. I will be waiting to hear from you.
Yeah, and it speaks to stickability too.
Yes. Because sometimes you might think that it's something that you want to do, and then you dabble in it for maybe a month or two, and then you drop off. And
Yeah.
so once you realize that it's something that you're serious about, then, and then too, for parents, if you find that your children are interested in anything craft related, please encourage them, because you never know what they will fall back on.
Yeah. Speaking of timing, I think, as we close the show, and I'll ask you to give your final thoughts in a minute, just for persons who may be listening and have been following the journey over the last 7 or so weeks since the end of February, I believe. This is my very last show co-hosting or hosting on the Hit Back. I want to take a moment to thank Dwight, the Guardian Radio, and just recognize the other hosts who have been just serving on the show while the show found a full-time replacement. I am grateful. 7 shows. I think I could call myself a radio personality now, right? Right. But I want to thank you for this opportunity and congratulations to Naughty, who will be filling in this show, this time frame, and so I want to wish him all the best. And it goes back to timing, right? Because one of the things that happened once I started hosting was an opportunity to open up out of the country for me, and it really wouldn't have worked. And so again, it goes back to that message of vision and just sticking with it and timing and appreciating that all things will work together for the good if you have that clear vision. So what would you say to, what are your final thoughts? What would you say that you perhaps haven't said already in your story? Or what would you say to persons who are going into the rest of this quarter, this year, and just at a place where they're frustrated, they don't know what they want to do, they're unsure, they're allowing people to get to them, all of the stuff that we go through on the journey. What would you say to those people?
I would say, try, only you know what excites you. Find what it is that excites you, and regardless of what comments anyone makes concerning your vision, your goal, you stick with it. Because at the end of the day, you have to please you. You have to do you.
Do you,
you
boo.
Have to do you, boo. Do you, boo. Sure. You have to make yourself happy. You have to feel fulfilled. And so, it's okay to dabble in what it is that you think the direction you want to take. And if it doesn't work, that's okay. Find another direction. Whatever it is that you want to try, you go ahead and you do that. Yeah. Whatever you're passionate about, that's what the gift, God's gift is.
Yes, and I see the takeaway. My takeaway, I think Chevy offered another important principle that she embraced during her journey, and that is perspective. It's important to look at things through different lenses. Thank you so much. And I see another message that says, remember the free gift. Thank you very much. I did forget the free gifts. So the free gift is a free course, a free training. You know me, I do this training for a living, and I wanted to give something as I wrap up, and just to encourage persons who maybe in a place where they have a goal and a dream and they do not know where to begin. It's called the Critical Questions Tool, and it's the exact tool. It's 35 questions that help you create, clarify, and really just test whether your goal and dream will become real, whether you can achieve the goal. I would love to give it to anyone who feels that they want some inspiration. If you want the free gift, you can text us 422-4796. 422-4796, and just type Make It Real, because that's the focus of the show, and I will make sure I get it over to you through a link, and you can download it. I want to thank you so much. I know we have 5 more minutes, so as we wrap up again, Chevy, I don't know, I feel so full. We got 5 minutes.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you to Lisa Nichols.
Okay, yes, you wrap up.
I want to say thank you to Lisa Nichols for giving me the opportunity, because there are so many other amazing jewelry artists locally, but it's my season, and God said it was my time, and so she gave me that opportunity to shine. And so I just want to say thanks to her and to God for allowing this opportunity.
Yeah. And as Fat Joe says, yesterday's price.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You see the meme? Repeat it, and just repeat it for people to appreciate. Yesterday's price is what? Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Yes. Prices have gone up. Absolutely. My membership has increased. I've been able to afford persons the opportunity to be a part of that community from $20. Okay, but now the membership has increased. My brand has increased.
Yep.
And I give God thanks. I give God thanks.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to end. Again, if you're listening and you listened all the way to the end, today's show was about making it real. And I really want to encourage you to make your goals and dreams real, and all you need is one person to believe in you. And I question whether I will read this, but I have to because we have, 2 or 3 more minutes, and I think it's one of the things that helped me to consistently achieve my goals and dreams. If you want a free gift, 35 questions to help you create, clarify, and test whether your goals can become real, you can text us at 422-4796, make it real. I see the messages came through, and it's a message that I got in 2013, March 20th, in fact, this year from 2013, and it's from the late, great Dr. Miles Monroe. And he said something in his book about, being able to not allow frustration to stop you from making your dreams real. But he also said something that he posted on my page, and it's something that keeps me going. And it's really a message to find something that will keep you going, even if you are unsure. And he said, "Hi, it's your pastor from Hawaii. I'm so proud of you, and know that you have a great future. One day soon, you'll be traveling the world like me and touching millions. Keep up your dream and work hard." Hold on, I can get it.
Oh, goodness. I know, right?
So,
I know,
wow.
I know. I feel it, girl. I know.
Make it real, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good show.
Wow. Wow.